Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Sherry Dostal-Riba, your Franklin Method movement educator and yoga therapist. Today's topic is, what is the right form of exercise? What's the best thing to get me in shape? What should I focus on in the new year? There's obviously lots of messages from the media and even from inside of ourselves in the brink of a new year where we start to make goals. We start to prioritize our time again. We decide, what is it that I want this year? And often those goals are somewhat related to our body, our health, our fitness. Tricky question, tricky answer, perhaps. What is the best form of exercise? In my follow-up question to that maybe is exercise even good for us? The reason why I asked that question is that we all have movement patterns. We have habits of how we sit, how we stand, how we move our bodies, and our body conforms to what we repeatedly or most often do. There's proof with that the body is viscoelastic, etc., that if we sit in a certain posture for X number of hours a day, X days per week, that is the body's most familiar position, and therefore it's going to carry over into your movement patterns. So is exercise good for us? Yes, but it depends, and I'll talk through those points a little bit more in detail. And in terms of what's the best exercise, I don't really have an answer for that. Really, it depends on what you love, what's going to motivate you and inspire you to have fun while you're doing it so that you actually keep doing it, right? We're coming up on the last week of January. Don't be one of those numbers, statistics, that starts out strong, all or nothing, going strong in January, February, and then we don't see you, in class or at the gym, or you just quit working out altogether, right? So choose something that is actually enjoyable for you to do. Make it fun, bring music, don't bring music, pay attention to the nature and sounds around you. Ask a friend to come with, whatever you got to do to make it pleasurable so that you want to keep doing it. More specifically, I think what matters more than that question, what is the best form of exercise for me, because each of us are very different. I can't answer that for all of you that might be watching, although you can email me and I'll help steer you in a certain direction. I think what's more important than what's the best is, how do we do anything that we do? So rule number one, regardless of if you're playing rugby, running on trails, playing tennis, going for a swim, taking a dance class, doing Pilates at home, whatever form of movement or exercise practice that you pick up or do, pay attention to how you do it. And that means that our brain power is essential. If we're reading a magazine, if we're multitasking, if we're on the phone while we're out for our walk, whatever it might be that takes our brain power away from our body and how our body feels, that for me is rule number one. Can we bring our brain power actually into the experience of moving our bodies so that we're aware of moment-to-moment sensation? We can make adjustments in how we're moving so that we can move better, more efficiently, more safely, and really get the full benefit of the time that we're putting in, right? We're not putting it in just because our doctor told us to, or hopefully not for that reason, or just because we think we should, right? We want to feel embodied and vibrant and strong and resilient. And in order to do that, we have to actually have an experience. So rule number one, brain power focused in the body, pay attention. Next up, where do I feel my body most? So if you're doing a particular movement, ask yourself that question. Where do I feel the most effort or strength or support coming from? Where's the primary area of sensation in my body? And that can give you clues. Am I doing this movement well, safely, that's going to serve me long term? Or is there some kind of short-term risk that I'm creating for what reason, right? So pain obviously is asking for us to reconsider, to do something differently. Often with our brain power, we can shift our focus from one area of the body to another to make it more beneficial. One example of this is bridge pose. So if you're lying down, legs bent, feet on the floor, face up, lying down supine, if you press into your feet to take your hips up, with that movement, you might be feeling, my glutes turn on, maybe I feel my belly, maybe I feel the stretch on the tops of my thighs, maybe I feel some crunching or compression in my lower back. Those are all clues. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. They're clues for you to pay attention to and then make intelligent decisions about how to readjust. How do I get myself more organized or more whole, integrated, safe, benefiting from the time I'm putting in, okay? Last but not least, the quantity and quality situation. I do believe that quality trumps quantity. I also believe that quantity can be good. So starting with a baseline expectation of, okay, I'm gonna move for 10 minutes a day, great, wonderful. If you're doing it consistently, that's awesome. Yet, in order to really, truly cultivate the kind of health and fitness that I think most of us desire, it's gonna take more time than that. So there is a time and place to do more or to move longer or to do more repetitions. However, that question of how am I doing this movement? And if there's an old movement pattern that drops into place that's less efficient, causing strain, tension, you're holding your breath, whatever signals that you know for you give you that clue, then to me, that's enough. So we want to build the quantity of what we're doing, enough volume of activity, movement, repetition, duration, so that we actually strengthen our physical strength, resilience, conditioning. But the moment before it crosses that line from beneficial to risky, or from pleasurable to painful, there's lots of ways to do that discernment process. But the moment before you sacrifice that last rep doesn't need to happen, in my opinion. Stay with the quality of what's going to keep you safe, keep you enjoying it, and keep you moving long term, rather than sacrificing that short-term intensity or what you think might be gain for potential long-term risk or injury. So I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're practicing and how you're practicing it. Give me one example of how you can use this video as you're moving and grooving in the new year, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy. Bye.